Okay, hello and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about what I consider to be the best tier 7 tank out of any, or at least, heavy tanks anyway. And it's the T29. So, the main feature about this tank is literally the upper half. So, this turret and its gun. Now, its hull has a lot to be desired for. You can side scrape in it quite nicely, but the front hull is pretty abysmal. So you got about 150 millimeters there, angled as it is, and even using your gun depression doesn't actually change much. So against other tier 7s, you're not going to do well. It starts to get effective against standard rounds from tanks such as the T34-85M, the tier 6, all of that stuff. But yeah, the main feature of this tank is the turret and the gun. The gun is incredible for tier 7. It's literally just a tier 8 gun on a tier 7 tank. So you got 320 alpha. It's low for a tier 8, but for tier 7, it's actually really derpy. You've got 198 penetration, so basically 200 pen, which is average for a tier 8 tank. So you go through everything. Standard penetration on the premium rounds is really good as well. I mean, not incredible, but are you really going to need more than 200 millimeters of pen at tier 7, 10 degrees of gun depression, which is fantastic. You don't actually have a DPM disadvantage compared to tier 8s that use the same gun. For example, the Chrysler uses this gun exactly the same, so does a Mutant. I believe the T32 uses this gun, but the T32 has been buffed with its gun slightly. Now, you're probably looking down here and you see the dispersion at 100 meters, it's almost 0.4. But the gun handling on this tank is good enough that it doesn't really matter, and in my eyes, anything below 0.4 is just decided by RNG anyway, so you're going to be hitting the shots that you aim, and you'll see that in the replay. Now, you got an average pool of health for a tier 7 heavy tank. Hull armor, again, abysmal. The turret armor, 279 millimeters, which is more than enough to deal with even the premium rounds of tier 8s and a lot of tier 9s as well, which you will face sometimes. This is literally a better turret than the tier 8 equivalent, which is the T34, and it's a better turret than the for example the T30. They look the same, but they're not created equal. Anyway, it's got average. Well, for a heavy tank, it's got pretty good mobility. You can make do with it. Obviously, heavy tank camo is out of the window. View range is really nice. You can spot. I'm pretty sure that's max, so that's nice. But yeah, onto my loadout. I use just as usual. I put a gun rammer on. It always helps. A vertical stabilizer, just to improve that gun handling. Aim time is only 2 seconds, and this just makes it 2 seconds faster. And coated optics. I opted to not use the vent, as I just felt some more view range would be nicer on this tank. Again, I'm actually carrying a lot of APCR, but I don't find I make my way through the armor piercing much at all. Anyway, if there's shots that I really need to pen, I will start using this, but I don't actually find myself needing it in most matchups. Unless I'm against tier 9s, of course, I'll use the APCR. I got 8 high explosives. I have so many because I can carry that many. The tank carries so many rounds. Excuse me. And it looks like I've actually got a gun rammer directive on as well. So I'm using one of those as well, which honestly the only difference that's going to make is, you know, 9.3 seconds probably. So yeah. Anyway, onto the replay. Okay, so for this battle we're on El Haloof. I'm in a platoon again, just like my last review with my EBR. Death Seeker playing T29 HTC, that is one of the reward tanks, I believe, for the 279E if I remember correctly. And Xiao was using the S51, which I'm actually really surprised at how much damage that thing can do in a shot. Anyway, we're gonna make a standard drive. You know, start of this battle in this map is generally just a long drive down this line on the map there. And as we get to the end, we're not gonna come down here, as you'll find yourself getting caught out by tank destroyers, as there is usually a light tank sitting around here spotting as you cross, just like our EBR is doing right now. So you come here and you can actually stay covered from all of that and stay safe, obviously. Now, looks like the rest of our team has the same idea, which is instills confidence. You know, our team's nice and spread out here. We actually have good coverage towards the south, so I'm fairly confident in my team at this point. Anyway, so far we know that there's going to be a Comet and an IKV-90B. Now this Comet is going to be an absolute pain in the ass around the start of this game, so keep an eye out for that. The IKV-90, I don't know why he's actually coming up here. He'd probably be better off up here. Now at this point my platoon mate Death Seeker points out this T29 AT. He's going to be a massive issue for our heavy sitting here if we don't deal with him, so that's going to be our job since we seem to be the only ones coming up here. Now 252U, he makes a cross. He's going to start harassing the crap out of our heavy tanks, so hopefully we can deal with him later in the game. Now I spot that T29 AT, but I want to pop over here and see what other tanks are there at the moment. Now there's no one immediate, and I don't actually do a proper check. There goes that Comet. He's going to be a pain. But I do want to start putting some shots into that T29. So we get down low, just so we can stay away from that Comet's gun and whatever else is sitting there. Now I'm a bit uncautious here. I take a shot from him, 400 alpha. Like, what the hell? I had no idea that tank had that much alpha damage. So now I'm going to be really cautious since I've lost half my health to like 2 shots. So we fall back a little bit, and I decide to let that T29 get brave by himself, and in the meantime I'll stay safe from him and start dealing with these tanks in front. Just going for the spot here. I'm really confident in my turret hammer. He's sitting in the open. That's what I mean by him getting too confident. A lot of players will fall back and try and stay hidden if they get one shot put into them. But if someone puts a shot into you, you know they're on reload, so you can take advantage of that and put a shot back to them. Now we come up here. I'm actually going to side scrape against this Comet, but he notices this and he falls back instead of taking a shot from me. So he's obviously an experienced player. Okay, so we've got an Indian Panzer down in the middle here. It's never good to get down in that spot too early in the game, because if you don't win this side, this fight here where we are right now, you're gonna get crushed by the enemy when they push over. Now that Comet still being a pain. God damn it! I'm actually gonna start loading premium here, just because I know, in my mind anyway, he's gonna start using his gun depression and his relatively strong hull. And I can't actually go through his turrets with, well, not strong hull, strong turret. But I can't go through with my standard rounds, so I'm gonna use my premium to do that. Now we bounce a shot from him and we shut down the Indian Panzer. Picking up kills is great because you take a gun out of the game. And as a bonus, that was a top tier tank that we just took out. Now, this is where I'm surprised by that artillery. So Xiao just puts a shot into this Comet, and I believe he didn't even hit the guy He does over 400 damage. Like, this is a tier 7 artillery and he's doing all that. Now, I mistakenly put a shot in there, but that was purely because of my ping. I'm in New Zealand, so 200 ping is normal for me. But I guess it also shows you that World of Tanks doesn't require a good ping for people to play. It's purely a position-based game and a decision-based game. As long as your internet is, steady. Now I look for a shot on this object 252U. It is just a defender that is called something different. And he's actually on the other side of that rock, so I'm going to start focusing on his own knee. But I look to my right again and his 252U is backing up. He's clearly tunnel visioned against our heavies, and also Death Seeker. His IS-22 is coming up behind us, so I decide to get out of the way of a shot, put a shot into him, and I'm going to push up on him. I'm relatively confident I can beat him. He was focused on my teammate, but I am reloading. There's literally nothing I can do. Now we make a lucky bounce there against the Oni. Put a shot into the front of his turret and they stay hidden for a while. Artillery strikes again. So I believe that was like 300 damage, I think, or 200 damage that he told me. Now we try and bait a shot from him with the front of our hull. At this angle you can actually bounce with it, but he gets finished off. Now instead of pushing down this line, because I'm going to come around this side, people always get caught out coming down here, as in it's just a straight firing line for any tank destroyer sitting back here. There's even some really nice bushes around here for them to use, and they're just going to pick you off as you try and make the push. So I'm going to come down low. I use that bush to stay unspotted for as long as I can, and since I'm not spotted, I decide to push down. There is the LCG challenging our teammates over here. Now, interestingly enough, I get spotted coming down there. I'm not actually sure where that came from, but again another 400 damage shot at Law 40T, because apparently the S51 is absolutely overpowered. I never knew. Anyway, I don't go up any of these yet, because I don't know where the tank destroyers are, so I'm not going to take the risk. Our only team is pretty brave, so he can take the shots. I believe Death Seeker got killed by the Scorpion without getting spotted, and somehow that Scorpion must have been using these bushes I just told you about, but really well, because he didn't get spotted while as he shot. So I know he's there, and I load high explosive. I'm pretty confident that anyone that I beat at this point I can just pen with high explosive. Really nice high explosives on this tank, 420 damage. So just raise my DPM by about 30% or so. Now the Scorpion doesn't know I'm here, so he's probably going to rush around. I don't actually manage to pen him there, which also shows the unreliability of high explosive. It's very similar to heat. It's just really unreliable. You have to make sure you've got a clean piece of armor that you're going to shoot at, and there's nothing in the way like tracks and all that. And that Scorpion gets a shot put into him by a Super Hellcat, and he's fallen back. You find the IKV, but he is distracted. You put a good shot into his side. Now, there's no way that Scorpion's going to poke again, so he's going to come in the bottom. And I know this, or I realise it, so I prepare for that. And just as I turn, there he is. Put the finishing shot into him. He rushes this shot. I did a similar thing before when he was over here, so I'm not sure if he's the most experienced player, but I'm not going to check up with it because that's fine. Okay, so the IKV gets shut down, and all we have left is to find the artillery. Now, one of our teammates gets hit by him and starts looking this way, so I know he's here, and of course the artillery is behind a building, somewhere where I can't hit him. But Xiao Meng comes to the rescue, and I managed so I can put a shot into him as he destroys the building. And that's game. So yeah, this is an awesome tier 7 tank. I recommend getting it, just for fun. I mean, honestly, I haven't actually gone up any further on this line, because I'm not really interested in any of the tanks. Maybe the tier 10 at this point, I'm not... Yeah, I don't know, I'm not a fan of them. But this tank is definitely a must-have, so... You know, I hope you enjoyed the video, and also the battle, of course. And I'll see you next time.